Tonight is all about the fellas. We discuss stress management and fitness tips. You're watching DXB Today.
Good evening to one and all. Welcome to yet another edition of DXB Today. So, kicking off a brand new week, and we are dedicated tonight to exploring the physical, the mental and the emotional well-being of men.
Absolutely. In today's fast-paced world, it is crucial to shine a spotlight on the often overlooked aspects of men's well-being.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's time to break the barriers, shatter the stereotypes surrounding men's health. We're going to bring you expert insights, empowering stories and practical advice to help men to prioritise self-care and adopt healthier habits. Tom Urquhart, you are the only man on the panel as it stands.
Yep.
How are your healthy habits and your well-being?
I am not sure I'm in the right position to talk about healthier habits. It's a weird one, this, because, and I'm looking forward to having a good old chat with our guest on this one today, and of course amongst the panel as well, because I suppose I'm patient zero in many ways. You know, all boys school, boarding school. Grew up with that sort of mentality of stiff upper lip, etc.
Right.
So not encouraged to open up
right.
about one's emotions or mental health. But thanks to the efforts of many here, it's become easier. Because I remember when I moved here 20 years ago, it was still taboo.
Oh, 100%. And there is still big, steps to be made.
Yeah.
You're also a dad. So then how are you breaking the mould to make sure that your younger generation talk about their mental health as well?
Yeah, there's certainly a lot more encouragement, a lot more... I suppose, yeah, it is just that encouragement and that element of not judging as well at the same time, and giving the children the opportunity, be it my sons or my daughter, the other way around, daughters or my son, the opportunity to speak to. It's not feeling afraid to come and chat about things that maybe you shouldn't be talking to your parents about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, we oftentimes overlook men's mental health quite a bit because as women, I could talk about my feelings and my emotions till the cows come home. And plus, there are so many women's groups and organizations and things that allow for that safe space where women can get together and talk about this. But I'm not sure if there is enough of those for men. And especially when I was looking at a lot of the articles online, according to the World Health Organization, men die of suicide at twice the rate of females, and especially in high-income countries, they have the highest rate of suicides. Why? We don't quite know, but of course we have our experts coming on the show who are going to discuss this topic a little bit more in detail.
And I think that's one of the things that certainly we've learnt a lot during recent times. I know, how often do we go back now and talk about what we learnt from COVID, etc. But when you look at the sort of pandemic, or the epidemic, I should say, of loneliness that we saw as a result of COVID, and then therefore the spotlight on that. And you know what? As much as this is an extraordinary city, and so many have called it us at home for many, many years, it can also be quite lonely because, it is a very fast-paced city. It's the old work hard, play hard mentality. And a lot of people do find that solitary element quite difficult to deal with. So, yeah, hopefully today we're shining a light.
Yeah, I really do hope so that we are talking about it. Actually, because I have a podcast that talks about mental health and such, and there was quite a few of my male guests that came on that were super hesitant at first, and then they actually said, no, I need to do this to allow other men to speak out as well. So I'm really looking forward to today.
Well, let's move on because we have got a very fitting guest co-host for you today. A true champion here in the UAE of men's mental health. So, time now for us to reveal to you who is tonight's guest co-host.
Hi, I'm Manny, Djornor, co-founder of the Mentality Group. Can't wait to see you guys soon. Let's do this.
Let's go indeed. Yeah, we will be delving into Manny's extraordinary journey very shortly. But before we get into the topic of today, Amy was recently at an acting workshop, as if she needs that, to learn from one of Hollywood's top coaches. What could possibly go wrong? Take a look.
to be or not to be? That is the question. But if the answer is yes, then you're in the right place, because I'm here at the Chubbuck Acting Technique workshop called The Power of the Actor. And we're going to check out what the Chubbuck Technique is all about. So joining me now is Claire Chubbuck, who is a master teacher and the Vice President of Chubbuck Studios. Thank you so much for joining us here in Dubai. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about why you decided to bring the Chubbuck technique to Dubai.
Well, Dubai really has an emerging market for filmmaking, and also a lot of actors that are ready to step up their game and be part of what the Hollywood system has to offer, and I think create their own thing.
Fantastic. So what do you think of the film industry as a whole here in Dubai? Do you think it has got the potential to make it the same as Hollywood? And do you think the actors that we have here in the UAE have the potential even to go into Hollywood?
Absolutely. I think that the UAE can position itself to be somewhere in between Hollywood and Bollywood and create some feel-good films that are also important and good and fun to watch, right? So there's definitely a place for it, and I think the actors absolutely have the capability.
Fantastic. So can you tell me a little bit about the Chubbuck technique and how it differs from other acting methods?
I would love to. So the Chubbuck technique, what's special about it is we use our pain for prosperity instead of just pulling out pain for the purpose of acting. So we focus on winning, and that creates a hero's journey that allows the actor to experience something that is truthful, real, but also motivated by storytelling.
So I know your mom is the founder of the Chubbuck technique. So how did she establish her own technique, and how has it grown and evolved throughout the years?
Well, she started working as an actor herself, and she was working with Stanislavski's method, but she added the advances in science and behavioral technology that we know about today. So everything that scientists have done, she has incorporated to allow it to be a more real performance that is based on behavior instead of just feeling.
Okay, so when we were talking earlier, you mentioned to me that you are a teacher and you do not act yourself. So what made you decide to do teaching rather than going into acting yourself?
Well, I'm afraid of being on camera, which is fun for this, but I love changing people's lives, right? And so what we do, because it's so motivated in people's pain, but it is, as I mentioned, for prosperity, that people come out of this feeling better than they did when they walked in. And that's not true for a lot of acting techniques. A lot of people end up dying because they are so depressed, like what happened to Heath Ledger and other actors. It's very sad. And so when I help someone find their purpose, that is it. And so it's honestly, it's remarkable.
Fantastic. So can you tell me a little bit about what you've been doing today in your workshop?
Yes. We have been finding the core of what the character is experiencing, the why of the character, and connecting it to their lives. So we've been doing a lot of crying, we've been doing a lot of feeling, and we've been doing a lot of understanding where we are as people and what is our motivations as humans and how we can align that with our characters.
Fantastic. Well, I hope that I'm going to have the opportunity to sit in your workshop a little bit and try out a little bit of the Chubbuck technique myself.
I would love that. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God.
We're going to do that.
Yeah, amazing. Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I've had an amazing time discovering more at the Power of the Actor workshop and delving into a little bit more information about the Chubbuck technique. I can't wait to try it out on my next acting debut.
Love that. Good old Amy. She'll be stepping out in Hollywood anytime soon. Right, we are talking today about men's mental health and well-being. Happy to be joined in the studio by Manny Djornor. How are you, sir?
Very well, very well. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, we're so excited to have you here. I guess the first question straight off is, tell us more about the Mentality Group, what it is, what it does.
Absolutely. Mentality is a platform that's focused to creating spaces where men can come and be themselves, where they can talk about taboo subjects that are not often discussed in public, and where they can really come and check in with other men, find a community where they can check in with other men, and by extension give them the tools with which to become better pillars of society. So whether that be at work, with their children, with their spouses, just really step into their manhood, I guess.
And what inspired you to start this?
Fantastic question. So I came from a very kind of high-pressured background myself. My parents were very kind of focused on academics. I then got into sports in my teens, professional sports back in the UK. And in those kind of environments, you're taught, you know, you've got to be the strongest. You've got to keep being fast. You've got to keep pushing forward, even when things are not quite going right. I then got into corporate, and that brought me over here. And as Tom said earlier, when you get over here, yes, it's fast-paced, everything is good, and everyone's looking at you to be that success pillar. When things fell off for me, I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know who to speak to. So at that point, I was like, okay, I need to create a platform, a space where other men wouldn't feel or go through what I went through, because it found me stood on the balcony of a sports city tower, and I was very close to switching everything off at that point.
We talk often, don't we, about the fact that we are moving in the right direction. Those societal barriers are coming down as well. I suppose the question is now, because you brought us up to the present, and with the work that you're doing, that other good organisations are doing, how far have we come? Have we stymied the stigma yet? Have we put the taboo to bed, or is it still there?
Absolutely not. We've barely brushed the surface. Unfortunately, with more awareness coming into play now, we are creating more and more spaces where men can come and kind of ground themselves and find the tribes and communities that I speak about. However, inherently it starts at home, and so there's a lot of unlearning that needs to happen. That then, from childhood, that then leads into men actually owning their own spaces and understanding that it's okay not to be okay, and vulnerability is actually the catalyst to strength, I guess.
And what can parents do to make sure that their sons, that the boys in their household have a better, I guess, a softer landing space when it comes to this? And also, my second question is, how important is it for parents to monitor some of the content that the younger generation men watch, you know, on the internet? Because there is some real toxic masculine stuff out there.
There is. So to answer your first question, what can parents do? Just be present. Be truly present. In this day and age where life is fast-paced and parents are out also trying to live their lives at the end of it.
How dare they?
Well, they're entitled to it, I guess.
Yeah.
But just be present when you are at home or when you are around your little ones. Not just men, women as well, or girls and boys as well. But more specifically boys, because as boys we're taught to internalize and we're taught to shut down the feeling of, okay, I'm not feeling good. You're told, just get on with it. Just man up. Just be a boy. So just allowing the space for that, for a child to say, listen, I don't feel good. Parents saying, why don't you feel? What is it that you're feeling? And allowing that child to be able to speak about that. Your second question regarding content, we can't hide away from it. We live in a world that's always switched on, right? Monitoring content is one thing, but you can't monitor content all the time. It's about education. So allowing these little ones to understand, okay, well, I have to curate a feed or content that actually serves me. And guiding them into different areas, you know, understanding who they are, what they like, what they don't like, what's good for them, what's bad for them. I always say when we have our events and our men's circles and our community events as such, that you can guide and you can parentally kind of control everything as much as you want. When they step out, the real world's going to hit them in the face. And so when you give them the education and the tools to make the right decisions, they'll be fine. So looking at, you know, I guess when you go online, there are spaces like Mentality. There are other really kind of encouraging and edifying content that you can find on YouTube that feed to people's minds and souls outside of the toxic content that you find. Unfortunately, toxic content gets pushed and spoken about all the time.
It's always going to be there, as you say, education. And speaking of that, obviously super conscious, there might be people watching right now and just thinking, you are the person and you are the group that I need to get hold of? Like, how can they get hold of you and get involved and reach out?
So there's 4 pillars to mentality. At the core, it's media, which is where we started and what we push a lot of. There's a podcast that you can watch on YouTube. We have IG Lives bi-weekly that happen on Instagram at @_Tality podcast is where you'll find us. We have live events, panel discussions where people can attend. We have marketplaces, workshops.
What if there's someone watching, sorry to interrupt you, but what if it's like they don't want to do these public things? What if it's still that kind of cloak of shame and that's not what I want to use, but they want to come to you directly?
So that leads me to the other 2 pillars of mentality. We hold regular men gatherings where we can get together, and again, small gatherings of just men where women don't actually voice, because sometimes women can drown out the ability for a man to speak because they're so good at saying what they feel. And then aside from that, we have aside from that, we have a services arm which we're building as well. So in essence, a database that we're then going to develop an app around where a man can come and find anything men's well-being.
Amazing.
In essence, you know, if you need a neuroscientist, if you need a PT, if you need a nutritionist, if you need a yogi, whatever the case may be, a place where they can come and find something to move forward.
That sounds absolutely perfect. I'm fascinated to learn more, and I know you're going to be staying with us for the majority of the show. So we'll catch up with you a little bit later, but we definitely want to chat to Manny more. And we will be chatting with an ex-pro rugby player after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. We are joined in studio by an ex-professional rugby player with an impressive career who is also the visionary founder of Apollo Perelini Rugby Skills Academy. Great to have you with us, Apollo.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I haven't played professional sports or amateur sports for that matter, or any kind of sports for that matter. But all those sports is all about the physical strength. There's also a huge mental element attached to that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a stigma behind sort of that everybody looks at rugby players, especially the game of rugby, as the man sport. You know, you have to be a true man. That you don't say things that sort of off the field that makes you look vulnerable. But when you look at the mental side of rugby or any sport. There's a negative and a positive, and us as rugby players, and through my career, talking from experience, that when you're on a high, and everything's positive, everything is good, and your confidence is up. And when you're on a low, and a lot of that is attached to form, and when I mean by form, it could be affected through injury. So therefore, there's a sort of health side of it that then takes part, and then when you drop in your physical health, then you drop in form, then the negative mental part comes into play, and that's always the struggle.
So question then, I mean, and Apollo played it, he's dual World Cup rugby player, Western Samoa League, Union, been there, done that. It was called the Terminator on the field as well, for one reason or another. But listen, glittering club and country career, long career as well. Was there anyone that you could turn to if you were feeling a little bit down, other than your teammates? Was there anyone in that club structure?
No, I didn't have many sort of people to turn to within the club structure, but there were always friends, confidants that we turned to. We had a pastor of the local church who became the chaplain of the club, and he was somebody that you can go in confidence and just talk to. And then I had also older people that I could turn to as sort of mentors outside of the game. Yeah. I think it was always important that you went outside of the game to get those mentors, you know, people that can look from sort of outside that box, because sometimes when you're within that circle of sort of professional athletes, or elite athletes, sometimes you can't see outside, and you're always just focused on the same thing.
Are clubs doing a better job now? Do they have that infrastructure in place, or could they still do better?
Yeah, absolutely. Going back 10 years ago, I went back to the UK. Now every club, it's compulsory to have a chaplain. Okay. Not necessarily there from a spiritual side, but more just coming across as somebody that people can trust and go to. But then also creating groups. And I remember when I then became a coach, and I was able to create a little group of players who can get together and talk and share. And I think that's sometimes you just need to sit down and just share what happens at home.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
This must be music to your ears,
It is. I mean, I know that outside of the chaplaincy, a lot of clubs are now integrating sports psychologists into the different setups, right from the youth age all the way up. But I'd love to understand how much family plays a role in a sports person, professional sports person.
Massive. I have the most supportive wife. And Tom's met my supportive wife. And she is being my rock. And if it's always so important that is that having a good partner that really supports you through your highs and lows. You know, to be honest, she wasn't the biggest fan of rugby, but she would always support me, and she would see me at my highest point, and then she would always see me at my lowest point and always be there to comfort me. But she was always there to give me the kids first. Doesn't matter whether I was winning or losing. When I would walk through that, I could have the worst game ever, and I'll be feeling down, I'll be feeling so depressed, and I'll be driving home thinking of all the scenarios that I've gone through this whole, in this game. And I'll get home and I'll open the door and she goes, "Here's son." And everything just goes left at the door. I promise you. And when I pick up my boy, and I was like going, "Do you know what? Doesn't matter." And the older they got, I used to get home and
the heavier they got when you tried to pick them up.
Can't pick them up, mate.
Don't worry, he can handle it. He's fine.
Yeah, and they would just tell me, they go, "Oh, it's just a game, Dad." And I'm like going, "True."
Isn't it funny? Absolutely. Kids have that way of bringing you back down to earth.
Yeah.
And sticking with kids, not just your kids, but I want to talk to you very briefly, because we've only got about a minute or so left with you, about the actual academy. And obviously, these kids, they want a sense of belonging, and I'm guessing the academy does things like that.
Yeah, the academy is actually a safe place, a safe space for them. It's a place where there's no pressure. It's the only place where they can come and they can just play and express themselves without the pressure of performance. Okay, they learn the skills. We're not a club, we're not a school, so therefore there's no selection base. There's no. If you do badly, you're not going to get selected. It's that all we say is that there's never a wrong way. There's always a better way, and we'll show them a better way. But we're also at that place where we like to see them express themselves. And that's why a lot of kids keep coming back and they say, "We love it. This is our place where we can just go for it, and there's no pressure to perform."
Amazing.
Because, you know what, they've got no parents telling them, that they play badly in our academy, because they don't play, because they're here just to perform and enjoy.
AP, long may that continue. Out of time on this occasion, my friend, but thanks so much indeed for your time. Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you for having me.
Executive Director of the UA Rugby Federation, helping to push rugby here, and of course through the academy, the AP Rugby Skills Academy. Enjoy. Thanks so much indeed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Gav.
Right, time for now to turn our attention to today's Spotlight. It's another thought leader on mental health and mindset transformation, the host of Don't Be a Man About It podcast. Here's our interview with Ray Kobessi of Raise Your Mental Health.
My name is Rahaf Kobessi. You can call me Ray, and I'm the founder of Raise Your Mental Health. My mission is to help people bridge the gap between awareness and action when it comes to taking care of your mental health. I started Raise Your Mental Health for a very simple reason: to have better and more open conversations about mental health in the Middle East and around the world. I lost my dad in 2010 just because it was not okay to have conversations about mental health. It was not safe for men to come out and say, I'm not okay. So I lost my dad to that. I don't want any other girl to lose her dad for something as simple as this. I started Raise Your Mental Health so we could have happier and healthier generations to come. But it starts from us. It's very simple: creating more safe spaces for people to come to look after their mental health, regardless of their age or gender. Mental health illnesses or problems do not discriminate. So we create those safe spaces, whether for companies, individuals, men, women, kids. We do it all to make sure that everyone gets the right support and resources to look after their mental health. At the end of the day, we all deserve to feel happiness and peace. Obstacles would be lack of knowledge, lack of resources, lack of support at the beginning. And it's a huge mission for one person, but now it's getting better. Other than having a happy world and a healthy one, to break it down, my long-term vision would be to have an academy or to run something so big that provides free therapy for people who can't afford it. Because let's face it, one of the biggest reasons why people don't come forward to say I'm not okay is because of their finances. So my long-term vision is to provide free therapy for those who cannot make it on their own, and to provide the resources to work with women, men, kids, teenagers, whoever it's going to take to build that village that everyone is supportive and there for one another. One, the sense of safety, but most importantly, the opportunities, the endless opportunities to grow and to create impact. There's no limit in Dubai, so you can dream big and you can achieve bigger. I would go live on a TV show, broadcast it all over the world, say what I want when it comes to mental health awareness, make sure the message is received to everyone, and then I'll go pamper myself somewhere at a spa or a beach.
Yet more inspirational leadership and, of course, delving a little deeper into the mental health and how we can improve ours. Good to see as well. Right, that was the Spotlight. Time now for the Roundup. Who's rounding up? Ash.
Gladly, Tom. Now, researchers who study men and masculinity at the Johns Hopkins Center for Communication Programs found that more than 1/3 of men globally reported feelings of anxiety and depression during COVID-19. Now, panel, as someone who experiences anxiety on a regular, even before COVID didn't make it any better or worse for me personally, but it definitely did open the conversation and I guess made the whole idea of seeking help a little bit more or a little less shameful, I would say. What would you say has been your experience during COVID? Did you experience more anxiety and depression?
Yeah, I think it was the element of the unknown which caused a lot of issue. I mean, I was lucky in the sense that I was able to work throughout COVID because of media commitments, etc.
Key worker.
I'm not sure how key that was, but I'll take the work a bit. That's all. Well, but it was that element of the unknown and the fact that things could change fundamentally overnight. And then, of course, the confinement area. It was almost like a sort of perfect storm, wasn't it? Of things that would just make you think twice.
Absolutely. Likewise, I think I went through that as well, but it was a great reset moment for me.
Yeah.
It was a moment where I could just be like, you know what, nothing else matters. Let me just try and get back to understanding where I am, what phase of life I'm in. And so the anxieties were definitely there. The anxieties never left, but it was like, okay, well, I've got no control over what happens next. Just understand where the journey is going to take me.
Yeah, there was lots of interesting things that did happen through COVID-19 in terms of because people had to stop working and stopped, there was so much that kind of came to the surface that perhaps, that they were hiding deep, dark in the back there somewhere. And as you say, Tom, it's about the unknown. I know a friend of mine that said in March 2020, if they said to us, we're in lockdown until January the 1st, 2021, not an issue. I know exactly what I'm doing, and that unknown thing. really throws
everybody. It was day by day, wasn't it, as well? And it took a little while, and you're right, it was that whole thing, that element of reset. As soon as you sort of accepted that you weren't in control,
that's right,
and that it was you were just a sort of piece in this larger jigsaw, and used it as a positive to sort out the socks drawer, get through those wardrobes, work out the old larder, etc. But using it as a positive time.
Correct.
Because it's amazing how quickly it changed for me as well. Because we bemoaned it at the time of COVID, didn't we? It was like, oh no, what's going on, etc. Ask anyone now, they take 3-4 weeks, being able to sort out everything at home in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
Do you feel like we've come out of that mode, though? I feel like it's still lingering. I feel like there's still that aftershock of COVID-19 where people are still...
I think so. I don't know. What about you?
I feel like it affected different people differently. Like I said, for me personally, it didn't make the anxiety that I already had any better or worse, but I did improve my cooking and baking skills off the chain.
Cookies for all of us, and I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
I tell you what hasn't changed. It has changed because we're still debating the work from home, work from office thing. We're still seeing revenge tourism. People quite happy to get on a plane and pay whatever to get anywhere. And the way that people holiday has changed fundamentally as well. So things have changed, and we're still feeling the effects of.
That's right. Yeah.
Some great points there, Tom. Thank you for sharing that. Now, time for a quick break. When we return, we will discover how yoga can improve your mental and physical health.
Zen.
Welcome back to DXB Today. Right on with the show, and our next guest live here in the studio is a man who is skilled at teaching people to find relaxation, calmness and inner stillness. We could all do with a little bit of that around this desk, that's for sure. Please welcome the meditation guide, Anjaan, to the show. Anjaan, thank you so much indeed for being with us.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Ash.
Listen, it's great to have you with us here in studio. Now, yoga. Let me give you a sort of public perception thing, and you can tell me whether it's right or wrong. But
let's
public
bust
perception.
some myths.
Yeah, let's bust them myths.
Yes.
Yeah, bust those yoga myths. Yoga myth number 1: yoga is more popular with women than men. Discuss.
The idea that yoga is popular with women comes because of Instagram, right? Which is where you find these bendy, flexible, beautiful female yoginis doing fantastic postures. Till the early 1900s, yoga was practiced in the Indian subcontinent mostly only by men. After that, there was a student of Krishnamacharya called Indira Devi who took it to the United States, and then it became popular in Hollywood, and then it became a movement kind of thing. But traditionally, when I say yoga, I don't mean just the postures. That's another myth. I don't mean just asana, which is postures, bending and flexibility. Was practiced by mainly the men because they were the ones who went to battle. So it was a warrior-based concept of how can you still yourself so that you can be better as a human, as a warrior, as a husband, as a king. The women didn't need to practice yoga because they were already considered yogis.
Diplomatic. I like that. Diplomatic.
Just the truth. Just the truth. So the myth there is that men feel yoga is too feminine, too girly, too, soft. It's the exact opposite. If you practice yoga with a good teacher in the right way, when I say yoga, I don't mean just postures, just asana. I also mean the concentration, the meditation, the mindset, the breathing, and so many of the other things. It helps you with physical fitness. It helps you with the neuromuscular systems. It helps you with endurance. It helps you with stamina. It helps you with endocrinal system, which all modern day workout regimes can also give you, whether it's HIIT or boxing or other cardiovascular exercises or sports like our previous guest. So the myth that it's too soft is the reason why men don't practice yoga.
So interesting, isn't it? And it's the total opposite. Manny, are you a yogi?
Ever since I met Anjaan,
okay, well, just tonight then.
Just tonight.
No, we've met before.
But besides that, I think you spoke about the physical. How important is yoga to the internal kind of grounding, centralization of a human being and building their mindset through that?
Sure. I will take a word from Tantra, which is a huge part of the yogic kind of philosophy ideology, right? And there is a word called Tana, which is the base of Tantra. Tana means mind, body, energy. So yoga doesn't see the distinction between mental, physical, emotional. Everything is everything. So when you practice a posture, it's not just physical. It also stabilizes your focus. It also helps you to look at one place. It also stabilizes your breath. It also helps you to regulate your mind. It also helps you to feel peaceful. Yeah. Similarly, when you practice dhyana or going within or meditation or focus, you're sitting in a posture, you're also focusing on your breath, you're also kind of regulating your mindset. So everything is everything. There is no separation. And this union is another definition of yoga. There is no mind and body and energy. Right. It's mind, body, energy. It's the entire construct of us as human beings. You cannot separate your mind from your body. Like I ask you, touch your hand. Yeah, well, where is your mind? On your hand. Where's your focus? On your hand. Where's your body? On your hand. Where is your energy or spirit or whatever you want to call that element of consciousness? Also on your hand. There's no separation. The separation builds walls and divisions. Breaking of these separations and creating a limitless way of living and being is yoga.
Wow, there's such a peaceful vibe about you that I'm almost envious of it. I practiced yoga briefly a couple years ago, and honestly, it is the most flexible I've ever felt in my life, and I would love to get back to it. Now, side question, I noticed that you like to walk barefoot, and as someone who loves shoes, I just want to know, what is the science behind it? Why do you prefer to walk barefoot?
I think the Industrial Revolution and subsequently productivity indoctrination, especially with men, has made people move at such a fast pace. We've forgotten the simpler things in life. Walking barefoot is the most simplest pleasure you can have, especially if you're on a beautiful beach or in a park or in a garden or even in mud. And by wearing those pointy shoes, you're actually destroying the skeletal structure of your toes. Besides that,
have you seen that?
Besides that, and not just for men but also for women, when you're having, there's so many studies now with stilettos and heels, how it's affecting, even causing problems like PCOS and other, hormonal issues in your body. So for men especially, if you can find some time to walk barefoot, find some time for grounding, preferably on sand or mud or grass, it'll give you so many fantastic benefits. And now recently I read a study about the microbiome, gut microbiome. They say it's connected to the microbiome below, the bacteria below the feet. So science is slowly catching up with what yoga said 15,000 years ago.
I was going to say, just some 15,000 years ago. Well, based on Aishwarya's face after you said about it ruining her feet and everything.
That explains why I have PCOS. It's my Louboutins.
Apparently it is. I understand, Anjaan, you're going to very kindly take us through some short guided meditation. I think we're all up for it. So if it's okay with you, we're in your hands.
So the first thing I'd like to request is let go of the idea of what you have of meditation. Okay, spend a moment just letting go of that idea of what you think meditation should be and what you think it should give you. So let go of the idea, let go of the expectation, let go of preferences. And then if you feel like it, close your eyes. If you feel like it, sit with your spine erect. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. If you're watching the show later, then you can rewind and play and listen to the instructions. And as you close your eyes, just bring your awareness to your own breath. Don't think of it as I'm doing meditation. Remember that if you're thinking I'm meditating, you probably are not. You want to aim in the next 30 seconds to let go of that thought that I am meditating. So just bring your awareness to your breath. As you breathe in, inhale relaxation. As you breathe out, exhale any tensions. If your mind wanders, bring it back to the breath. And when you're finished, about 5 or 6 breaths, ponder on this question. Who is the one observing the breath? And let all the answers float in. Don't settle on any answer. Just spend time in observation. Observe. Who is the one watching this breath? Eyes closed is better for observation.
Right.
It's okay, don't be sorry. If you open your eyes, close it again. It's allowed. Be easy on yourself. Be kind on yourself. Relax. Relax the eyebrows. Relax the eyebrows. And just allow this observation to percolate through you. Whatever answers you receive are yours. And then together take a deep inhale through your nose, activating the parasympathetic nervous system. Exhale through your mouth with a nice ha. Rub your hands together, place it on your closed eyelashes, open your eyelashes onto your palms. And recognize that if you can do this simple 30-second activity before important decisions, before meetings, before starting to drive, it'll refresh, reconnect, rewire, and awaken everything inside. And when the systems start to function, all your decisions will be from relaxation, and therefore you'll have abundance and joy and happiness and clarity, all the things that men are chasing today.
Anjaan, thank you so much. That's amazing.
Thank you.
I feel... Yeah.
Can you continue?
Not really, guys. I'm off, I'm
now.
afraid. That's it for tonight's show. Anjaan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to... Manny, I am... As quickly as you fell into that guided meditation, I'm going to snap you right out of it. Because... Well, I'm going to do
nasty, shouty quiz.
Yes, a big, shouty, relaxing quiz. If I do it in my meditation voice...
Oh, take that.
Is that okay?
Sure.
It's the DXB in 60 seconds to answer as many questions about the show as possible. Have you been paying attention?
I have.
Good. We'll have 60 seconds on the clock starting in 3, 2, 1. What is the name of the ex-pro rugby player that was a guest on today's show? Apollo Perelini or Alex Allen?
Apollo Perelini.
Correct. Which mental health coach did we spotlight on the show today? Was it Ray Kobessi or Breen Brown?
Ray Kobessi.
Correct. What is the name of Ray's podcast? Be a Man About It or Don't Be a Man About It?
Don't Be a Man About
Correct. Which of the following is a common mental health issue amongst men? Is it depression or obsession?
Depression. And obsession sometimes.
Correct. Okay, but we'll take it. What is a recommended way for men to manage stress? Is it engaging in regular exercise or isolating themselves?
Engaging in regular exercise.
That's correct. True or false? Seeking professional help for mental health concerns is a sign of weakness. True or false?
False, absolutely.
That's correct. True or false again? Men are less likely than women to seek mental help for their mental health issues. True or false? True. That's correct. Which hormone is commonly associated with male characteristics? Is it estrogen or testosterone?
Depends who you're asking, but testosterone.
Yes, that is correct, and that is 8 points you've got. Congratulations.
What do I win?
Well, it is Monday, so you are top of the leaderboard.
Yes. Look at that.
You win a guided meditation session
Fantastic.
with Anjaan actually as well. But thank you so much. Thank you again, Anjaan, for being with us in the guided session. Manny, thank you very dearly for being our guest co-host today. It's been fantastic.
An absolute pleasure.
It's been a learning, so we appreciate it very much.
And thank you for highlighting men's mental health.
No, thank you. Right, after the break, we will be joined by not one, but 2 talented artists for a very extraordinary performance. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to DXB Today. I'm very excited because I'm joined in the studio by a very exciting group who we saw in their sound checks a little bit earlier. Marxiti ai fratelli coltelli.
Yes,
How was that?
Yeah.
Very Italian for you?
Yes.
First of all, come stai? How are you, Mark?
Bene, I'm fine, thanks.
Good. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Our pleasure.
Excited to have you. Tell us all about where this happened. Where did you meet and why did this even begin?
At the beginning, we were a real Italian swim band. Then I was looking for the best sax player, non-Italian, and I found him. So,
was it important that he was non-Italian?
Because he can give us the British touch. In Dubai, it's very important.
That's what we need, always from Adam, the British touch. Yeah. Mark, tell us a little bit more about your story. You've been here in Dubai a long time. How's that been for you?
Since 2012. I have to be honest, I'm very lucky. This country is like home for me. And the first person that I met in Dubai was Sheikh Mohammed. We played for him many times here and also in Italy. So what can I say? It's my
what
my
can you say to that? That's a claim that not many people can have. Perhaps a silly question. How nervous were you?
What do you mean?
How nervous were you performing for him? Were you scared?
No. I'm nervous only in a few places, not here.
Wow,
not
amazing.
On the stage, yes.
And the scene, is it very different from back home in Italy?
No. Honestly, here we are more appreciated. I have to be honest, because in Italy it's something that you can find everywhere. But here we can give the Italian touch to many people around the world. So it's a pleasure, and we are proud of that.
Good. No, that's really exciting. So we know that you're going to perform for us in a little while, but where can we see you in and around the city?
We have many gigs around. We used to play for many Italian brands and also in a huge event. So take a look at our
give us your Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, what is it?
Social Mark Zitti e I Fratelli Coltelli. And you can find us at Mark Zitti or Adam Long, as you wish.
Of course. I mean, we know Adam hasn't even got a
We are
microphone on.
partners,
We're not paying
so
any attention to Adam, the best British saxophonist in the country.
It's part of Mark Zitti and Fratelli Coltelli.
Exactly. Listen, we're so happy to have you on the show. We're going to let you get set up. We're looking forward to the performance, so we will speak to you very shortly. For now, Tom, it's over to you, dear.
Yeah, looking forward to that one in just a little while. Katie, thank you very much indeed. Now, this week we are giving away another amazing staycation for you to chill out over the course of this summer. You and a friend can enjoy a one-night stay with breakfast at the amazing Palazzo Versace Hotel right here in Dubai. Couldn't be simpler. Head down to the Dubai One Instagram page. That's Dubai One Instagram page. Find the competition post and let us know why we should pick you and why you want to win. Have I made that really confusing now?
No, you've made it very clear, Tom. A little too clear. Super crystal clear.
You basically told everyone that you pick the winners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we would also love to hear from you, so use the hashtag DXB Today to let us know what your summer plans are or what you would like to see featured on our show. Summer plans, guys? Katie?
I'm here.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
so that's your plan.
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much here. All day, every day. Yeah. I don't really travel. I don't really want to go back to the UK.
Yeah.
I might meet some friends somewhere in Europe, maybe. That sounds...
Oh, so you are travelling then?
No, I don't have any plans. I'm just making it sound like I'm a global jet setter, and I'm not.
What about you, Tom?
Yeah, I'll be back to the UK to see the fam at some point. My daughter's finished school this year, so she's moving to London over the summer, so we'll go and settle her in. And after today's show, I have been inspired by Anjaan. I'm going to be spending more time on meditation over the summer.
Yeah, and take your shoes off and walk barefoot more.
Any opportunity.
What a fantastic show we've had today.
Yes.
Like really highlighting something that's so important.
Yeah. Thank you for asking my summer plans, Katie. So, over the summer, I just got back from Italy. It was beautiful. I'm hoping to go to Mykonos. It's been in my travel bucket list for 2 years now. And in August, I'm planning to take my daughter to Kerala, which is where I'm from, in India.
She's never been, has she?
She's been to another part in India, but she's never been to Kerala. So I'm really excited to show her where she's from, or at least half of where she's from. So looking forward to Kerala as well.
Amazing. Right. Well, that is all from us tonight. And I hope you have a peaceful, powerful and a productive rest of the week. Join us again tomorrow for our Tuesday show, of course. It would be silly if it was a Wednesday show on a Tuesday, wouldn't it? But for now, it's over to you guys. Mark.
I don't bust a toy just because she's so nice, Angelina. Angelina, whether it's at the pizzeria, I could swim a minute strong, just a bit of it alone. Angelina, Angelina, whether it's at the pizzeria, ti voglio bene. Angelina, I adore you. Ti voglio bene, Angelina, I live for you. È una passione, you have my set my heart on fire, fire. Oh, but Angelina, sweet signorina, never listen to my song. I don't bust a toy just because she's so nice, Angelina. Angelina, whether it's at the pizzeria, if you'll be my cara mia. Then Anjaan in matrimony, where the gloves is spamoni, and Angelina will be mine. Cella non un mezzo mare, mamma mia, mi mare dare. Se ci picchia cotterare, mamma mia, pensarci tu. Se ci tu le musicanti, e vai e vieni, sempre lo strumento manuteni. Se ci picchia fantasia, lo strumento figlia mia. Oh mamma, zumma zumma baccalà. Oh mamma, zumma zumma baccalà. Oh mamma, zumma zumma baccalà. Zumma 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 baccalà. When the moon is right like a bee, pizza pie, that's the morning. Yeah. When the world seems to shine like you have too much wine, that's the morning. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling, I'm a sing, oh, feel the bell. Yeah. What to play, deep day, oh, that you say, love you better. When your stars make it through, just like a bus that was you, that's the morning. When you dance down the street, where you clap your feet, you're low, 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 low. Hey, where you are in a dream, like you know, Napoli, signore. Oh, baby, excuse me, what you see, banging on Napoli, that's amore. That's amore. That's amore. This is love. Thank you.